Worried about who can enter your home without permission? Let's look at this and see who can enter, when they can enter, and what you can do to prevent it. Can someone enter my home without permission? In some cases, there are people working specific jobs who can access your property without permission, as they have what is known as power of entry. Power of entry is a statutory right for some public service workers to come into your home or onto your land without prior permission. It only applies to a very narrow and specific set of public service workers, so it's essential you know your rights about who can come onto your property. Some examples of this include police workers, fire service workers, ambulance workers, council and local authority trading standards officers, and some enforcement agents like bailiffs. The reason these people have statutory right to enter is so they can carry out their work as part of an emergency situation, a court order, an urgent search, or an investigation. They do not have the right to enter your premises unless there is a specific situation that grants them the right. Can water and energy companies enter without a warrant? Water companies are a little bit different. They do not need your permission to access your house to inspect a water meter. However, energy companies must get your approval to enter, or they must obtain a warrant to enter first. They will likely only do this if you have arrears and they want to fit a prepayment meter in the property. Can my landlord enter my home without my permission? No. If you're a legitimate tenant of a property, you take over the legal right to live in that property without interference from your landlord. Landlords cannot come inside a property without getting consent from the tenant first. That would be an offence. If they want to come and carry out an inspection of the property or carry out a repair, then they must give you at least 24 hours notice and only come at a reasonable time. If they do provide 24 hours notice and propose a sociable time, then you cannot repeatedly refuse entry to a landlord or a letting agent that they employ. You can, however, negotiate another time or day if the time or date that they propose is not convenient. If you have not kept up with your rent, your landlord cannot just access the premises and kick you out. There are official processes that must be followed, and it can take time for landlords to get their tenants out, even if they have stopped paying their rent. Can a landlord ever come inside without notice? Landlords can come inside without permission and without notice if there is a real emergency situation. Exactly what constitutes an emergency is sometimes debatable, but situations like gas leaks, flooding, and fire would certainly count. Can the police search my house without a warrant? The police will need a search warrant to gain access to your property in most situations. However, there are a number of instances when the police do not need one to enter your premises, including when they're in pursuit of a criminal who is believed to have carried out a serious crime or has been arrested and now escaped, when a police officer hears distress or cries for help, to arrest somebody, or for an inspection related to a disturbance. Entry alone does not give a police officer power to conduct a search. They would generally need a search warrant for this. Can the council enter my property? On some rare occasions, a local authority worker, such as a planning officer, is able to come to your property to assess if there have been any legal breaches in building work completed. Housing officers can come inside your home to inspect housing conditions, though they typically give notice when they're doing this. If you need further information related to any of the topics discussed, then you should contact a debt charity, citizens' advice, or even seek legal advice. Can bailiffs break into my house? Bailiffs are seen as some of the worst people to be knocking on your door. Bailiffs do have the legal powers to enter your home through unlocked and open doors, so it may be best for you to keep everything locked and communicate through an upstairs window when possible. There are limited occasions when a bailiff can use reasonable force to enter. This does not mean breaking down your door, but rather employing a locksmith to just unlock the door. The limited number of situations that allow a bailiff to do this are when they're collecting magistrates' fines, collecting HMRC debts, or defaulting on a controlled goods agreement. These are the only circumstances when a bailiff can use reasonable force to enter. Other types of debt do not give them such power. Additionally, it's illegal for enforcement agents to act aggressively, harm you, or force their way into your property in any other situation. Of course, it's always far better to deal with your finances before things escalate to court and bailiff action. If you're struggling with debt, then there are options available here in the UK. Some are free to use and others include fees, and each will have their own pros and cons. If you want to learn more about the solutions available, then we've created a really great form that you might be interested in checking out. Click the link below and answer a few multiple choice questions like the total amount of your debt, how many people you owe, your living situation, and we'll connect you with one of our trusted partners so you can find out more and start taking steps towards improving your financial situation.